I heard there was rumors, people talking that you guys don't want a rehydration clause in the event if the fight does happen. Do you guys not want one?
Give them about that. It only gets so big, it get too big, then that's on him.
Yeah, people want to see that fight, and maybe they see the fight. We don't know yet, right? But maybe they see that fight, and I'm always open to good fights,
Terence Crawford has called out Canelo Alvarez for requesting a rehydration clause in their potential fight. According to Bernie, a member of Team Crawford, the showdown between the two is slated for September 13th, although it's not officially confirmed. Crawford is reportedly moving up to 168 bouts to challenge Canelo for his 3 super middleweight titles.
To 168, I wouldn't have to lose any weight. I wouldn't have to strain my body. I can just focus on getting stronger and getting sharper and just work on the things that I need to work on to fight a guy of that size.
You're on an 11-fight knockout streak. Is it important to you to continue that, or you just kind of take this fight as it happens?
I just take the fights how it happens. If the knockout come, it come. If it don't, I'm just looking at securing the victory at the end of the day. I never go in a fight looking for the knockout, but if it's there, I'm definitely going to take it.
Prediction on this one?
Like always, a victory.
All right, we'll see how it happens on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Terence Crawford, Israel Madrimov, Saturday from BMO Stadium here in Los Angeles. Champ, always good to see you. Good luck on Saturday.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Boxing fans have long speculated about the potential clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, with rumors circulating for weeks about a fight set for September. Now, there's an official confirmation from someone within Team Crawford. Bernie, a representative of the team, addressed fan concerns and revealed that Crawford will step up to 168 bouts to challenge Canelo for his 3 super middleweight titles. While the fight isn't officially confirmed yet, it's clear that Crawford is moving up to take on one of the sport's biggest names. The idea that Crawford should first establish himself at 168 bouts before facing Canelo has drawn criticism, but Crawford isn't buying into it. He dismissed the notion outright, explaining that he has already proven himself in multiple weight classes. Crawford boasts an impressive resume as a 2-division undisputed champion, a 3-division unified titleist, and a 4-division world champion. However, it's important to note that his competition in some of those divisions has often been viewed as less formidable. Many of the fighters he conquered were seen as beatable, which raises questions about the strength of his competition at the higher levels. Nevertheless, the showdown between Crawford and Canelo is scheduled for September 13th, according to Bernie, who enthusiastically confirmed the fight. Crawford versus Canelo. Yeah, it's confirmed, he stated, emphasizing that it's Crawford, not Canelo, who is set to be the pound-for-pound best and soon-to-be super middleweight champion. While many fans are excited about the fight, some critics remain skeptical due to Crawford's age, power, and lack of experience at 168 bouts. Despite these concerns, a lot of boxing fans believe Crawford has what it takes to prevail, much like the strong backing Canelo gets from his supporters. However, a closer look at Crawford's career reveals some inconsistencies. His 17-year career has been filled with dominant performances, but some believe his success has more to do with skill than the caliber of his opponents. For example, when Crawford moved up to 154 bouts to fight Israel Madrimov last August, he delivered a performance that was far from his usual sharpness. While Crawford won the fight by unanimous decision, the judges scored it much closer than expected, with scores of 115 to 113, 116 to 112, and 115 to 113. This raised some questions about how Crawford would fare against the elite competition at 168 bouts.
So do you like Terence's chances even without a
I
rehydration
love Terrence's chances when it first came out of his mouth and said he wanted to fight.
And yeah, you guys have zero issues with.
I have no issues.
No issues.
Terence ain't got an issue with I.
Still, speculation about a potential fight between Crawford and Canelo is growing. Despite not being officially confirmed yet, rumors continue to swirl. One of the major talking points around the potential fight is the rehydration clause, a rule that would limit how much weight an opponent can gain between the weigh-in and the fight. Given the substantial weight difference between Crawford and Canelo, this has become a focal point of the debate. Crawford, who fought much lower in weight divisions before stepping up to 154 lbs, isn't concerned about the clause. Brian Bomack McIntyre, Crawford's trainer, recently spoke about this issue. When asked about the possibility of a rehydration clause, he made it clear that he's not bothered by how much weight an opponent gains after the weigh-in. According to McIntyre, if an opponent overdoes it and becomes sluggish or hindered by their size, that's their problem, not Crawford's. He emphasized that it wasn't a concern for them, and it would ultimately be up to the opponent to manage their size effectively. As fans eagerly await the official announcement of this historic showdown, one thing is clear: the fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez has the potential to shake up the boxing world. Whether it will live up to the hype remains to be seen, but for now, fans can look forward to what promises to be a thrilling matchup come September 3rd.
Because, in the past, most guys, when they're fighting bigger guys like that, that's going to be the first thing that they want.
That's some bullshit shit. That's some weak shit. Oh, you can't come in this much and shit. Oh, man, get the fuck out of here. It's boxing. You got on the scale, I made the weight, regardless when I come back. Hey, you accepted the fight, let's get in there and fight like me. Simple as that.
Appreciate you, Bomack. Thanks for the time, man.
The reporter continued to press, asking if Brian McIntyre still believed Crawford could win without a rehydration clause. Without hesitation, McIntyre reaffirmed his confidence in Crawford, insisting that weight restrictions wouldn't change the outcome. Falati raised concerns, noting that in the past, fighters facing larger opponents often demanded a rehydration clause. McIntyre dismissed this idea, calling it nonsense. He criticized the concept of limiting how much weight a fighter could gain after the weigh-in, stating that once the weigh-in is over, it's up to the fighter to manage their weight. McIntyre emphasized that fighters should simply focus on stepping into the ring and competing like true professionals, especially since both parties had agreed to the bout.
Take the fights how it happens. If the knockout come, it come. If it don't, I'm just looking at securing the victory at the end of the day. I never go in a fight looking for the knockout, but if it's there, I'm definitely going to take it.
Prediction on this one?
Like always, a victory.
All right, we'll see how it happens on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Terence Crawford, Israel Madrimov, Saturday from BMO Stadium here in Los Angeles. Champ, always good to see you. Good luck on Saturday.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
The confusion surrounding the rehydration clause likely began after the Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis bout, where the term gained significant attention. This led to misunderstandings, which need to be clarified to avoid further confusion. Mike Coppinger recently highlighted that official contracts for the Crawford versus Canelo fight have not been signed yet, but there's a strong chance that the two will face off during the Mexican Independence Day weekend in September, provided all the details are finalized. As Crawford has stated all along, the fight will take place at 168 lbs without a rehydration clause. This highly anticipated showdown pits two of boxing's elite against one another, with the winner potentially claiming the title of the sport's best pound-for-pound fighter. Crawford, known for his brilliance at light middleweight, is likely to move up to super middleweight for the fight, making this one of the biggest spectacles in boxing for 2025. The significance of this clash isn't lost on boxing insiders. In an interview with IFL-TV, Eddie Hearn acknowledged Crawford's potential disadvantage, especially given that he would be moving up several weight classes to take on the larger, more powerful Canelo. Hearn remarked, "It's a massive spectacle. Crawford's coming up really 3 weight classes. He's just come up 1 weight class, or even come up 3 weight classes before that. I think he's physically disadvantaged in the fight, but he's a brilliant pound-for-pound fighter. It's 2 generational greats fighting each other." One of the key issues leading up to the fight remains the rehydration clause. Hearn revealed that Canelo Alvarez would have refused the fight if such a clause had been in place. He explained that Canelo would never do it, referring to the possibility of limiting how much weight an opponent can regain after the weigh-in. This stance aligns with Crawford's approach, as he has consistently stated that boxing should be a relentless challenge, and he sees this fight as another test of his skills. Crawford embraces the challenge of adapting to a new weight class and views this fight as an opportunity to prove himself against an elite opponent, which is part of what makes him a great fighter. Crawford's philosophy is clear. He thrives on testing himself against the odds, regardless of the challenges. Whether it's adjusting to a bulkier physique or conquering additional weight classes, he remains undeterred. As he explained in an exclusive interview with Boxing Scene at the Cosmopolitan, that's what great fighters are all about, testing yourself against all the odds. Crawford, with an undefeated record of 41-0, made a victorious leap from his reign as the undisputed welterweight champion and is now prepared to rise to super middleweight, where he will face one of the sport's biggest stars, Canelo Alvarez. The anticipation for this fight continues to build, as fans eagerly await the official confirmation of what could be a historic battle between two of boxing's most accomplished champions.
Don't get me wrong, he's a good fighter. He's really good abilities and everything. And maybe we will see that fight. We don't know yet.
Canelo, look, something you said to me a while ago really resonated. You said basically, if somebody's going to disrespect me, I don't want to punish them in the ring and beat them up and say, hey, here's, all this money, because everyone always makes their career high payday facing you, right?
Yeah.
Saudi power player Turki Alek has invested significant resources to honor his respect and admiration for Terence Crawford, elevating him to top billing for Al Sheikh's inaugural US event in August. Despite some tensions with Canelo Alvarez, Alek has worked tirelessly to make this highly anticipated showdown a reality. Crawford expressed his gratitude, saying, "I'm definitely grateful for what Turkey has done in the sport of boxing, making the biggest fights happen and creating fan-friendly matchups. He's a big fan himself, so he's putting the money behind it to make the fights everyone wants to see. I'm very happy with how things are headed and excited about where everything is going in 2023. Canelo Alvarez made headlines in the past when he dismissed Crawford's record, saying he had only beaten one good fighter. This sparked backlash from Crawford's fans. Alvarez, the unified super middleweight champion, initially declared that he wouldn't be fighting Crawford, but now, a year and a half later, the fight seems closer to happening, with both camps engaged in serious negotiations. As talks heat up, old comments have resurfaced, reigniting the drama. Just days ago, a 2023 interview clip surfaced, where Crawford's sister, Letitia Crawford, responded harshly to Canelo's insinuations. On social media, she remarked, "They all sing the same song." However, Canelo later clarified his previous remarks and acknowledged the potential for a fight with Crawford. In an interview with Mike Coppinger for *Ring Magazine*, Canelo was asked about his thoughts on facing Crawford. The conversation turned to how critics might view the fight if Canelo defeated Crawford, with many likely attributing the outcome to the weight difference between the two. Canelo, unfazed by the criticism, said that such talk only heightens the excitement surrounding the potential fight, making fans more eager to see it. He acknowledged the public's desire for the showdown, hinting that it might indeed happen. "Maybe fans will get to see it," he teased, adding that it's a possibility, but uncertain. The 34-year-old praised Crawford as a skilled fighter with exceptional abilities, though he remained cautious about confirming the fight. He stated, "We might witness that battle. Perhaps we don't know yet." Despite the uncertainty, the excitement around the potential matchup continues to grow. If the fight materializes, it promises to be an intense showdown between two of boxing's best, with fans eagerly awaiting the clash between Crawford's skill and Canelo's power.
A fight with you and Terence Crawford, it would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We're not talking about yet about the fight. Me and Turk know each other, and then we're we wanna see what happens.
And when do you want to get out next? I know you're here in London tonight. When are you going to be in a camp?
Huh?
When are you going to be in a camp? I know you're
In camp, training camp in March.
Okay, so
At the beginning of the middle of the February or March, yeah.
Canelo Alvarez recently opened up about his preference for facing Terence Crawford over David Benavidez, explaining why he turned down the challenge from Benavidez. Canelo shared that he felt disrespected by both Benavidez and his father, which led him to decline the fight. He believed that agreeing to the bout would have meant giving the 28-year-old Benavidez the biggest payday of his career, win or lose, a gesture Canelo was unwilling to make. At this stage in his career, Canelo explained, he is open to fighting anyone, including top champions, but he emphasized that he does not appreciate the way certain fighters approach him when calling him out. He pointed out that such challenges should not automatically warrant a financial reward, as he is now in a position to make his own decisions regarding opponents. Canelo added that he simply didn't like the way Benavidez had gone about calling him out. Despite the disrespect, Canelo hasn't completely ruled out the possibility of fighting Benavidez in the future. He admitted, "You never know, maybe someday I'll wake up and say I want to fight that guy." However, as of now, a showdown between the two seems unlikely, especially with Benavidez focused on an upcoming fight against David Morrell and planning to stay at 175 UPS for the time being. For now, fans are hoping that Canelo and Crawford can strike a deal and give boxing fans the highly anticipated fight they've been waiting for this year. Canelo seems aware of the commotion his comments have caused, but has shown little concern. He has reiterated that he wants to battle the greatest boxers of his generation and that he is free to make his own decisions. According to ESPN's Mike Coppinger, the long-discussed fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is reportedly close to being finalized. Bob Arum, who worked with Crawford before their split in 2021, has weighed in on the matchup, admitting that Crawford's unique skill set could pose challenges for Canelo. Arum stated that he wouldn't count Crawford out, even though Canelo would have the weight advantage, forcing Crawford to move up 2 divisions. Arum praised Crawford's ambidextrous abilities, noting how it drives opponents crazy because they train to face a right-handed fighter and end up fighting a southpaw instead. Crawford's skill as a boxer-puncher has earned him recognition as one of the best in the sport, and Arum believes his versatility could cause issues for Canelo, despite the weight gap. Crawford recently achieved the feat of becoming a 4-weight world champion, adding the WBA super welterweight title to his collection with a points victory over Israel Madrimov. While the showdown with Crawford is eagerly anticipated, it's still uncertain whether Canelo will fight on his traditional Cinco de Mayo date this May. One potential opponent for that date could be IBF champion William Canelo Skull. A win of the Skull would set Canelo up for a return to his undisputed super middleweight champion status, potentially paving the way for a later showdown with Crawford.
Check out the projected odds that came out. One of the odds projectors say Canelo is opening up as the favorite, -130. Crawford is +100. That's damn near 50-50. Another one says Canelo Alvarez is the favorite, -185. Crawford is the underdog, only +55. Let me tell you something. If those are the odds on my bookie come day one, I'm max betting Canelo Alvarez. I could give a damn. Y'all mean to tell me that y'all think it's 50-50? I'm going to empty my account on Canelo Alvarez. I don't have to bet KO, none of that shit. If y'all think it's that close, I'm going to empty my account. $30,000, I can give a shit. I'm about to come up. I was going to bet on Crawford, thinking he'd be the huge underdog. Y'all got it that narrow?
The upcoming year in boxing promises to be a monumental one, with several high-profile events scheduled, and one of the most anticipated being the last Crescendo card from Riyadh season. This event will feature 3 World Championship bouts, making it an electrifying night for boxing fans. However, beyond this event, the potential matchup between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is gaining significant momentum and could overshadow any other fight on the horizon. The two athletes recently met with His Excellency Turki Alik in London, sparking fresh speculation about their potential showdown. A fight between Alvarez and Crawford would undoubtedly be a major spectacle that would capture the attention of boxing fans worldwide. However, the location of the fight remains a critical issue. While Saudi Arabia, particularly Riyadh, has emerged as the new fight capital, hosting some of the biggest boxing bouts in recent years, Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, who has worked with Alvarez in the past, believes that a Canelo vs. Crawford fight is best suited for the United States. Hearn told DAZN News, "Canelo vs. Crawford only works for me in America. It's just wherever Alec's going to be involved in that process, like with Ben Eubank in England. But I don't see it happening in Saudi Arabia, to be honest." He also questioned whether the fight would happen at all, adding, "I don't see a lot of options for Canelo at the moment." In 2024, Crawford only fought once, securing a victory over Israel Madrimov to claim his fourth world title across 4 different weight classes. Meanwhile, Canelo enhanced his already impressive resume with 2 victories. Reports suggest that a September showdown between the two is becoming increasingly likely, with Canelo's combined super middleweight titles on the line. Crawford, the reigning WBA super welterweight champion, will be stepping up 2 weight classes to challenge Alvarez. Despite the significant weight difference between them, Crawford has reportedly not asked for a rehydration clause, which has raised some eyebrows in the boxing world. The weight disparity between the two has led to speculation about how the fight would unfold. Mexican boxing legend Julio Cesar Chavez, who is known for his deep knowledge of the sport, has weighed in on the potential fight, predicting that Canelo would win via knockout. Chavez told ES News, "Canelo is very strong, he has a lot of weight, and he'll knock Crawford out in 6 rounds." He acknowledged Crawford's abilities, but emphasized that weight classes matter in boxing. Crawford's decision to move up 2 weight classes to challenge the much larger Canelo has raised questions about whether the fight is even fair. Despite these concerns, Crawford, who last fought in August against Madrimov, is not contemplating an interim fight and remains focused on his impending clash with Alvarez. According to reports from Boxing Scene, Crawford, who is aiming to become a 5-weight world champion, does not think the weight difference will be an issue. Canelo Alvarez's ability to control the landscape of boxing at this point in his career is evident. The former undisputed super middleweight champion is reportedly close to finalizing a massive showdown with Crawford. In the meantime, David Benavidez, once seen as Canelo's WBC mandatory challenger, is left waiting with nothing to show for it. Benavidez's team recently spoke out about the situation, with his father, Jose Benavidez Sr., sharing his thoughts on the potential Canelo-Crawford fight. According to reports, the bout could take place in September in Las Vegas. Jose Benavidez Sr. made it clear that he believes the fight doesn't make sense, as he feels Canelo is simply too big for Crawford. "I mean, I'm not interested. I don't think it's a fair fight. I don't think it's an equal fight. Canelo is just too big for Terence Crawford," he said in an interview with Fight Hype. His comments reflect a common belief among many boxing pundits and fans that the size difference would be too much for Crawford to overcome. Benavidez Sr. also alluded to a previous incident where Canelo asked for $200 million to face Benavidez, which sparked frustration among fans who felt it was an unreasonable demand. Despite the criticisms and concerns about size, the potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford continues to generate excitement. Whether the fight happens in Saudi Arabia, the US, or elsewhere, it promises to be one of the biggest boxing events in recent history. For now, fans are eagerly awaiting confirmation of the matchup, hoping it will materialize and deliver the thrilling showdown they've been waiting for.